Okay, spring is just a few hours from officially starting, and tonight a new season begins following a winter, apart from maybe a couple of big wallops here and there, that for the most part has been relatively mild for much of the country. So what can we expect for the spring? Here is Global's Chief Meteorologist Anthony Farnell, joined as always by Storm the Weather Dog, who joins us now here on the desk this morning.
I just heard a little burp come from over here,
and
I don't think it was you.
It was not me. Thanks for clarifying that.
That might have been me, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry. So. Actually, I want to ask you this question because I think this is on the minds of a lot of people. Spring starts at what? Just a few minutes past 11 p.m. Eastern time?
Yeah, Eastern time.
Why then?
Well, it's very rare that it's on the 19th, so it kind of oscillates. It's basically when we have equal amounts of day and night, and that doesn't even go for the entire country. So it's kind of a confusing thing, but we are switching seasons. I like to use meteorological winter. It's a lot easier. It's basically December, January, February. That's winter.
Okay.
For meteorologists.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what are, for spring, for the most part, I mean, you did say earlier in the season that this was going to be a more mild winter.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be mild, and El Nino was the main reason for that. El Nino, it's warm water in the middle of the Pacific, and that tends to influence the jet stream and weather patterns around the planet, oftentimes leads to some extremes. We weren't predicting it to be that extreme mild across the country, and it looks like it's going to end up being one of, if not the warmest winters on record Canada-wide. Cities like Toronto, warmest on record. Montreal, second warmest on record. Out west, they had bouts of winter, but it kind of ended up being quite mild. So,
all right. So what is the spring looking like then?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Remember last year, the fire season, that was already starting in April. It was just incredibly early. So one thing we look at is the snowpack, how much snow is out there. And if we switch over to our weather system, you can see there's a large chunk of Canada that doesn't have snow right now, and that extends all the way into northern BC, Alberta, even a reduced snowpack into the Northwest Territories, and of course here in southern Ontario and Quebec as well. Not much snow. Now that can still change, and there is hope that we're going to get some snow. Calgary goes from record warmth to just a much colder, snowier pattern tomorrow, so there is still hope in the next few weeks to add to the snowpack. That leads to more runoff and higher water tables, and of course the end result will be less fires, but it is going to be looks like a mild spring, continuing the trend that we've seen of late, and it's those dry conditions in northern BC. That is the concern. I think fire season will be off to an early start again out there.
Well, it is, and it has been. It's already begun, and this past weekend, talking about these above normal temperatures, I mean, some temperatures were broken out west.
Yeah, interior BC, low 20s. That is, it occurs in March, but it's always that whiplash that you get where you have, I mean, they're used to it in Calgary where you get just Chinook winds and then all of a sudden a snowstorm. So tomorrow's their snow day, but BC has been quite mild. We had our records in the Great Lakes last week, where it was 20 degrees in Toronto. So it's kind of these extremes that are a bit concerning. Some of that's El Nino, but now we're coming off El Nino. We're going to La Nina, which is happening quick. It'll be here by this summer.
All right. Well, I can tell that. Do you keep, by the way, a treat right there in your coat pocket?
I keep them in every pocket, and sometimes when I leave my suit on the ground, he actually eats through the pockets. So
nice.
I have.
I was going to say, Storm seems rather focused on those pockets. So Anthony Farnell and Storm, good to see you this morning,
Nice
and
to see
thanks
you
for
guys.
this.
Yeah,
appreciate it.